Jesper Joergensen has been set free. All charges dismissed. Danish man set free. On Monday, Senior Judge Gregory Lineman. Senior Judge Gregory Lineman? What senior judge? Of what district? Who the hell is Gregory Lineman? Is this a special judge? We have 4 district judges. Is Greg Lineman one of them? He dismissed criminal charges against a Danish man accused of starting a Colorado wildfire that destroyed about 140 homes in 2018, after he was repeatedly found unable to stand trial. Well, he's too crazy. Let's just free him and send him on out into the world. Should we put him behind bars? Nah, just free him. It was an accident. It destroyed 140 homes. 140 homes. It's not clear what would happen to Jesper Joergensen. He's been diagnosed with delusional disorder. Once he's released from the state mental hospital, which was expected to happen later in the day, he'll be a free man. Senior Judge Gregory Lineman. I thought there was Krista, and then we had 4 district judges, right? There's Michael and Krista and 2 others. Gregory Lineman, was he one of them? I just don't. Where did he come from? And then he just comes out of nowhere and is like, get on out of here, you. Jesper Joergensen, you crazy son of a bitch. The way you burned 140 houses down, you crazy son of a bitch. Get on out of here. And don't let me catch you coming back here, okay? He hoped Joergensen, who was in the country illegally when he was accused of starting the Spring Creek fire while he was living in his truck and cooking food outside, would be deported if the charges were dropped. However, he said U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement had no intention of doing that, without elaborating. So, I'm just going to dismiss him. I'm going to dismiss him and hope that he'll get deported. Did you talk to ICE? Yep. Are they going to deport him? Nope. So what are you doing? I don't know. I'm drunk. I'm probably heroin. Is that fentanyl? Can I blame it on the fentanyl? U.S. Immigration Customs had no intention of doing that without a despite that, following an unsuccessful attempt to have Joergensen forcibly medicated. That's another thing. I could see this going one of 2 ways. Either they're on some bullshit and they're trying to say, okay, well, if you're crazy, then you got a delusional disorder there. That'll keep him in the mental hospital. That's not strong enough, and it just released him. And you don't want to say the person's goddamn crazy when they're fucking not, you fucking dickheads. It's you know what, because he's acting crazy. I mean, he's being accused of a crime, so, you know, he might act crazy just to, what was that fucking... Hate to keep bringing that motherfucker's name up, but James Holmes, he just has bright eyes. He's just like, has crazy eyes when he comes into the courtroom. And it's like obvious that he's just putting on a fucking show. But to me, it's obvious. But I guess to the layman, they could be like, oh my God, did you see them eyes? Dude's crazy. Are you a fucking expert? Are you a psychologist? Are you a psychiatrist or a psychologist? Are you any kind of mental expert? Are you a brain surgeon? No, but you believe in the good book, huh? Okay. And then they try to force him to be medicated so I could just see him like, get out, no! Spitting the pills out. Lyman said he believed the law required him to dismiss the case. The only thing I could say about it is that it happened in 2018. It's 2023, 4 fucking years later, right? It's April 7th is when the Costilla County Free Press reported this. So April 7th, 2022. So he's been behind bars, I guess, what, 2 years, maybe 3 years? So he served some time, right? He's been serving or behind bars or behind a fucking mental ward, wherever the fuck he was at. Lyman was appointed to oversee the case at Costilla County. Okay, and judges in the 12th Judicial District were recused. Is Gregory Lyman up to be a judge in April? Because I'm not for sure if the judges around here like me. And if they don't, they should recuse themselves. They should just be like, you know what, I don't like him. I'm not going to be... I haven't been fair to him the whole time. You know, he's just... he's got that know-it-all swagger. He's 6'1". In the summer of 2018, because a victim in the case is employed by the district, Ricky Andresen of the Danish consulate in Chicago said she was aware of what had happened, but said she couldn't comment on the case, including whether the Danish government would offer assistance to Joergensen or help him to return to Denmark. According to court filings, Joergensen said he has a romantic relationship with Alanis Morissette. They said it's a false claim, but why would we assume that that's not true? Jesper, Joergensen, and Alanis Morissette, maybe that's the person that she was singing about. That she just hated all men. Thanks a lot. So not only did Jesper Joergensen destroy 140 homes, but he also broke Alanis Morissette's heart. And inspired so many... What's the song? I just want to keep saying thank you. Thank you. And thank you, less than illusion. Yeah. Various people associated with her have set him up. Okay, all right. Now that's kind of sounding a little borderline like that Hinckley, that John Hinckley Jr. George Lyman said he believed Joergensen did not intentionally start the fire. Joergensen has been in custody for nearly 4 years, since shortly after the fire started. Nearly 4 years? Okay, I guess so. Joergensen would not be required to provide restitution to those who lost their homes since he was not convicted of a crime. If punishment was determined by the level of loss to victims, then punishment would never end, said Lyman, who said he hoped Joergensen would get support to keep him from living in his truck again. So we're not even going to fix the fucking situation that got him. Couldn't you just check in with him like 2 times? Couldn't this fucking judge just check in with him 2 times to see if... Apparently he just had a campfire and he fell asleep. And it's cold. And the people have, you know, there's grass fires out here and what have you. A lot of fucking arsons, too. Like, literal arsons. If punishment was determined by the level of loss to the victims, authorities said the fire started from an illegal campfire July 27, 2018. Wasn't fully contained until September 10th. I remember I was living in Pueblo at the time. So we saw the fucking smoke. I saw the fucking smoke. Pueblo's fucking 3 hours north, 2 hours north. Maybe an hour and a half, 3 hours round trip. But still, it's a fucking duration. July, August, September. Fucking shit. A month and a half. And it burned more than 108,000 acres. He should have got some punishment. He should have been punished, you know, like he says, if it was determined by the level of loss to the victims, yes, that's what the punishment is supposed to. It's eye for an eye. So you should, you know, burn 140 of his houses. But he doesn't, you know, he's got his truck or his RV or his shack or whatever. So, and you don't want to go burning his house. So what's something equivalent to burning a person's house down? I would say a year or 2 in jail. And he should be convicted. And yeah, he's not going to, you know, you can't get 140 houses or pay, right? Pay him, what would be the fine? $100,000 should he pay? I mean, if a person who fires a couple warning shots gets to be raped for 3 years in jail and has to pay $100,000, then how, you know, warning shots didn't harm anybody, but this harmed a lot of people. This hurt a lot of people. And ultimately, the problem wasn't fixed, so he didn't get punished enough, and the problem isn't getting fixed. Nothing is done. It's status quo antebellum. Get on back out there. You're not going to do it again, right? No, sir. He's still poor. He's still living on the same plot of ground. He's still going to have the same campfire, and it's going to happen again. Unless something major is going to change, because 44 years... You want to talk about him being crazy, him being delusional? You know what's delusional? Thinking that the system worked in this case. The system was... I guess the system took him out of society for a duration. But is that the punishment? 3 years? I guess. Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, 140 homes, he probably should be behind bars for life. It should be equal by the level of loss to the victims. I mean, we have a problem around here with respecting victims' rights. 108,000 acres on both sides of the Levada Pass in Huerfano and Costilla counties. Colorado's third largest wildfire. He made fucking history. He's a celebrity? Is that? I mean, he could just stay in jail and fucking write letters, you know? He's a fucking celebrity now. The decision frustrated Tim and Marge Thompson, who lost their mountain home where they lived for 20 years and had planned to spend their retirement prompting a big renovation project. The fire hit after a mild and dry winter, right after Tim Thompson had finished the window trim in the house. Yeah, that has to suck. To build a house to each and every fucking step, right? The rebar in the basement to the, you know, the molding or the trim and the goddamn 2x4s, the framing, every bit of it, right? They had finished the window trim in the house. Blaze quickly spread over the parched landscape. They lost all the money they put into their house, forced to move to the more affordable high desert nearby since they were underinsured. They had some insurance. That's good. It would be worse if they had no insurance. That would be, Marge Thompson said. I feel like he's had more rights than we've had, she said of Joergensen. He was a prisoner, so he had no real rights. He might have been able to say something or another at the fucking hearing. And then who tried to say he was crazy and force medicate him? Just have a call for a jury trial. He knows what he did. He's competent. Are you competent? Hey, Jesper, you competent? Wake up. Hey, Jesper, can somebody wake him up? Huh? What's going on? They're trying to say you're fucking crazy, right? Alanis Morissette, you're just kind of saying that shit to sort of. Lyman considered dropping the charges against Joergensen early last year after his lawyer said he would be deported. However, he abandoned that idea because of the new Biden administration's changes that would not make him a priority for deportation. Lyman then ordered Joergensen to be sent to the Colorado Mental Health Institute in Pueblo, where patients can be forcibly medicated if a judge agrees certain legal criteria are met. He was admitted in June after the normally slow admissions process was slowed further by... That's so fucking fucked up. Forcibly medicated. You better take this pill! He was admitted in June after the normally slow admissions process. I mean, you don't the system is going to fuck with a person's psyche, so... I could just imagine walking into that mental health institute. It's like, man, feels like everybody in here just wants to shove pills down my throat. Do you all get that creepy, like, vibe? How can you feel safe in a fucking cold institution such as that? In August, another judge allowed Joergensen to be forcibly medicated to treat his significant personality disorder and delusional. So he's got a personality disorder, and then we're going to send him back out there in the same. So we made it worse, huh? At the state hospital and reversed the order in December after Joergensen's lawyers intervened. According to a court filing by Joergensen's lawyers seeking to dismiss the case, Joergensen showed slight improvements after taking the medication himself at the hospital to avoid having it forcibly administered. However, his lawyers argued he would likely regress after being sent back to a county jail where he would stay while standing trial because the jail does not have staff to forcibly medicate people. It's believed that authorities spent $32 million fighting the fire. It cost $32 million on top of it all. And now I might actually see him at the fucking local bowling alley. Oh, hey, Jesper. What you doing? Huh? You causing $32 million worth of damage? You're destroying 108,000 acres of land. You burned down 140 houses. And you know there's arsonists that have burned people's houses down. And it was like a bunch, like 6 to 12. Not 140. I mean, motherfucking shit. Danny Sanchez is warning of 2 new scams. One is via social media. A person has contacted an individual on Facebook and then requested money via Apple Cards. The second scam reported is a person will call and then tell the answering party that they're with AT&T and will then request money from them. Any scams will be reported to the sheriff's office. This all from last year. Paul Quintana. Although I was not raised in Costilla County, my family does originate from Amalia, North New Mexico, just a stone's throw away. I do have... Man, I wish I was in Costilla County when this election went down. This looks like a good article. I want to read this article. Paul Quintana. Is he related to that clerk, Quintana? Mestis announces candidacy for position on Fire Protection Board. Looks like a nice guy, John Mestis. Hopefully he gets it. Or hopefully he got it. Mandatory fire ban issued. Mandatory fire ban issued. How fucking insane. How insane. The guy that just ignored your fire ban just got pretty much slap on the wrist. Just time served. Well, he did do some time served. So get on out of there. Get on out of here, you. Like I said, I guess the only good thing, or not good, I don't know, argument on his behalf is it was an accident, right? He set a fire, fell asleep. Really, the fire department should have been able to contain it quick enough, or quicker than what they had contained it. And hopefully there's better fire protocols now. But there was a miscarriage of justice. The system did fail pretty much all around, right? The system failed to stop the fire, to get any kind of justice. They were trying to make him fucking crazy so they could force medicate him. And then if they force medicate him, is he fucking staying in the, place forever now? Since they're force medicating him, and then he's just going to fucking be medicated. He's just going to be a fucking drooling vegetable, medicated vegetable at the fucking medical facility. If anything, they tried to do it twice. I'm kind of glad that he fought. It wasn't, if you ever seen, it's always, let's see, Cuckoo's Nest. One Who Flew Over a Cuckoo's Nest. Jack Nicholson movie, One Who Flew Over those Cuckoo's Nest. They can make a normal person, a sane, normal person, fucking insane and crazy. Do a lobotomy, fuck them up. The oppression, the institution, the coldness, you don't think any of that fucking adds to the, I can't even actually, I respect psychology and psychiatrists, but I feel like the way that it's set up nowadays, it's like you have to put a person in an institution and then they'll study you like you're a specimen instead of thinking that you're a human like they are. I can't even freely go to like psychologists or whatever because of my distrust of institutions. So I couldn't imagine how anybody that's stuck in the institution is actually, do they actually help? Do they actually make anybody better? The Pueblo Institute, the mental institute.